eshardgame@gmail.com. ES Hard
Cool.
Gaming is apparently that guy.
All right. Well, we're live, so
Oh,
cool. It's all
yeah.
good.
He sent us a form thing.
All right. Well,
Great.
I'm James, Victory Saber 77. Welcome to the Aftercast. This is episode 26, where we're going to be talking about not just Transformers, but everything collector, topic sort of thing. So, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, we'll start off with Dakota, because I know you.
Yes! I'm Dakota. You can find me everywhere at Primal Selfish. Still rocking the Selfish.
All right. And is there a topic show this week?
There is a topic show this week, as a matter of fact. It'll be back to Tuesday, its regular day, because Dragon Ball Z isn't in theaters anymore. Anyways, the topic will be scalping, and not so much does or doesn't it suck, but whether or not some areas could really be considered scalped areas. But we'll get more into that in the show.
You also have a new member.
Yeah, we do. He's not with us on the Aftercast like he should be. Chris Barrett will be joining us for that.
Cool.
I might show up, maybe.
Oh, now you might show up.
Yeah, I might too. I don't know.
Well, I like to talk about scalpers, so those dirty human beings. But.
Dalton, you're up.
I'm Dalton. You can find me on YouTube and Twitter at DaltoniansTFs. With Twitter 95 YouTube reviews. So.
Twitter 95. All right.
What? You're Twitter 95 now?
No.
Yeah, it's Twitter.
You have a Windows 95. How are you running Google Chrome?
Okay. Twitter is DaltoniansTFs 95.
Twitter 95.
YouTube is DaltoniansTF reviews. So.
Cool. All right.
You can't see it. It's right there.
And Twitter 95.
All right, Jay.
All right, you can find me on Twitter at NemesisJazz13.
Cool. Josh?
You can find me, G1 Hextron, on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And also my Facebook page is the G1 Hexatron.
And again, we do have a community website. Go check it out. We are streaming this live over there. It's www.cybercastnetwork.com. We also have a YouTube page. It's not really I'm up to date. But there are some good videos over there, so check that out, Cybercast Network. And then our Facebook page, Cybercast Network, and follow us on Twitter, CybercastNet. So, do you want to kind of talk about the donation charity thing a little bit, Josh, or do you want to kind of just kickstart it next week?
Well, I mean, we're going to dive more into it, but something that we wanted to do is every year they have Toys for Tots. It's for a good cause. It's for less unfortunate children, to where their parents, or maybe they're single parents or something like that, to where during the winter it gets cold, and really depending on where you live, to where not necessarily like my buddy, but I'm gonna use one of my buddies. Every year he has to go get new jackets for his two kids. He's a single father. Well, there's people that are even less fortunate than them, to where they really can't buy toys for their kids. If they have any extra money, it has to go to their clothes, because as anyone that has kids, they're always outgrowing the things. Shoes, pants, shirts and stuff like that. So really can't spend money on these toys, especially with how expensive they are. So something that we wanted to do and get just all of our followers and subscribers involved in was kind of do a fundraiser, and pretty much starting next week, and it'll last until, I guess, maybe until after the first week of December. That way we can go and do the shopping and do the donations and stuff. And however much we raise, I'm going to go in and I'll videotape it as well, so I don't think anyone would think that we're not going to be on the up and up, except for Dalton. But I'm going to videotape it all, show the purchase, and delivering it and all that other stuff, just because everyone that donated is part of that process. And I want to set a goal. I hope we blow it out of the water, but I'd like to set a goal of like $150 at least, and that way, not Transformers, but because you don't know what type of age group is going to get what, and if it's going to be too complicated, or they may break it or something like that. So, and they're a little bit expensive. So I was thinking mostly from the Nickelodeon line, your basic Ninja Turtles, and just buying just the turtle figures, just because they come with the most weapons, and they're obviously those are the heavy hitters, the ones that the kids absolutely want to have. And sometimes they do a buy one get one free, so I figured that with $150, I can pretty much buy like 20 of these figures, and we can put 20 with that goal. If we hit it, we can put 20 figures into 20 different kids' hands, and I think that would be awesome. I've donated as far as just like money before for Toys for Tots, or dumped off some stuff that I didn't want anymore. But I'd really like to get behind this charity. So with the help of everyone watching, and Cybercast, and all our individual channels and stuff like that. So I figured that kind of the best way to do it, instead of just saying, hey, do you want to donate, is if we had some kind of incentives as well. So, and you can donate anywhere from $1 to however much you want, but have a thing for $1, have it for 5, 10, 15, and maybe 20, and do incentives for each one of them. I figured that on every month we'll take whoever the biggest donor is as far as dollar amount. We'll actually have them on an episode of Cybercast as well, and just kind of give them a chance to, whether if they have a YouTube channel, they can shout it out and talk about it and stuff like that. And I thought it would be really fun. It's a way to get a little bit more involved with subscribers, and also kind of maybe doing the Aftercast thing as well. Like maybe if you hit a certain dollar amount, maybe that, hey, this basically buys entry to on an episode of Cybercast, or maybe it buys you entry for an entire month or something like that. And it won't be a hard goal to do. It's like if you added it up, let's say $15. More than likely throughout the month, you're spending $15 on just crap or whatever, like a bag of M&Ms at a gas station. It's like $1.50 or something like that. You're throwing stuff away all the time, but you can give back to a charity. That's really nice. So, haven't worked out everything that we want to do, but that's kind of the general idea and what the direction we want to go. So,
cool.
I don't know.
Can we get
get done with that?
Real quick, let's. You guys have any hauls? Got anything in this week? I mean, anything?
I think
Doesn't have
I'm
to be
really,
Transformers related. Anything?
I think I might be the only one.
Oh, I don't think so.
No, pretty much. I think.
Well,
me and
I
Jake-
mean, as far as people that weren't already on Cybercast.
We didn't mention on Cybercast. Stop stalling, Dalton. Tell us what you got.
Well, I got these two, Apex and Geminis, off of TFW for $55.
Hmm.
So, shipped. So, then I picked up Gauntlet. Really cool little figure. We'll get a review on him shortly. And from Dakota, I got my Battle Tanker. So that's all paid off, and really awesome figure.
got that layaway going on there.
And recently, after coming back to see, after seeing Ninja Turtles, I picked up Evasion Mode Prime.
Evasion Mode Prime and Ninja Turtles has so much in common.
Yeah, that's how you could come back with some Ninja
That was a weird. Yeah, I was like, what? Oh,
Well,
it's
no,
like-
no. I was toying on it for
Inspiration.
Transformers, and the only thing there, so I picked them up. And as the T-shirt I'm wearing, I actually got off of Ripped. It is the Dinos and Bots Appetite for Energon T-shirt.
How's the material on those shirts? Because I've seen some that I like, and I'm hesitant to buy any.
It's a really good material. It's soft. It's light.
What about as far as compared to the Cybercast shirt?
Oh God.
How what's it like? Because ours is like a heavy duty.
It's a softer. It's a lighter material.
It is. All right.
And the quality is
Probably one
hard.
of those that your neck will get all stretched out. I hate those type of shirts.
Yeah.
Oh, I bought a new shirt. There's several, but look.
Oh, you bought the soft
Oh.
kitty.
Soft kitty.
I'm
Look
guessing
at
you got
so
that at
cute.
Hastings.
No,
Oh,
man, I
yeah.
got this at Walmart for like $7.
Cool.
I've only seen them around at Hastings.
Batman.
Bang Theory, huh? They didn't
Yeah, I
know
don't
you
even
were a
watch
fan.
that. No, I'm not.
Okay, that's fine.
I mean, dude,
Mention it now.
Episode and a half. Look,
calm down.
don't you go spreading rumors, okay? Because I don't even watch that shit.
Any other hauls? Dakota, did you get anything? More
Yep,
Beast
I
Wars?
got Beast Wars Neo Survive and Sharp Edge in the mail. Finally completed the Beast Wars Neo line. Finally. So
Cool.
taking a break on getting stuff, I guess.
How far does this haul thing go back?
I got all this in Monday and
I'm
Wednesday,
just
Oh,
going
we're
for
just
the
talking
week.
just for the
this
week.
week.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I also got the turtle blimp back there. Also got the vintage Krang and the vintage Foot Soldier.
Cool.
Those movies, Turtles, those came out last week. I got those last week. I got Transformers 2. I don't even remember what I got, though. Oh, yeah, Sunstorm. And I got some more
Pro.
stuff. I just don't remember. Like, I forget. I usually just throw the crap down here somewhere, and I eventually, like, find it again. I still got Gundam kits that I haven't even opened.
That's what I'm doing. I'm going through all my Masters of the Universe classics from the subscription line this year, and a little bit of the tail end of last year. Starting to open them up, put them on the shelf. But how about you, Jay? Get anything?
Nope, I'm just waiting for Leader Jetfire to get in.
You pre-ordered it from a retailer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
I live in the
Hasbro
movies.
or
I don't
the
get nothing in the store. I got the Hasbro version.
Right on. Yeah, for some reason I can't find any new Transformers in my area.
Yeah.
Maybe that goes to the topic of scalpers. Maybe it's just my area sucks.
We just got the Skywarp stuff in again. Skywarp Wave Deluxe.
Yeah, we got that here.
You know, that kind of brings up a conversation that I was having with I believe his name is Jeff Mercer on Twitter. That we were talking about, because I saw something, and it was just like the super deformed Voltron figure or whatever, and I've kind of like figured out how to budget all my money for pretty much the rest of the year. You know, like they come out with some new, you know, deluxe Voyager thing, you know, $15, $25, something like that. Yeah, I can just pick it up. New Ninja Turtle, just pick it up. But whenever you're talking about these things that are coming out that are $100, $150, $200, man, I gotta budget that stuff, and you know, and figure out, well, this is this month, and it's pretty much like all these masterpieces. Whereas me pre-ordering is basically pre-ordering it like a week before it comes out. Is like how close I'm, you know, cutting some of this stuff, but I'm going to be able to get it all. But like I was talking to him, I said, you know, and I was telling you guys beforehand that, you know, us doing Cybercast and talking about all this stuff, like, you know, 5-8 times, you know, before the thing comes out, sometimes you don't even know. You get in and you're like, all right, you know, throw it to the side, and maybe in a couple of weeks you open it up. Hopefully that excitement's there, because there's really no excitement. Oh, it's in. All right, sweet, ship, and all right. But whenever you go to a store, like you did when you were a kid, I love online retail. I love that. You know, it's easy. But also there's the going to the store, and you don't know what you're going to find. Like today I went to 2 Walmarts, a Target, a Toys R Us, struck out on every single one of them. They didn't have anything. That's fine. Sometimes that happens. And sometimes I go and I'm just like, all right, let's see what's over here. And oh my God, these are in. Yes, there's like, the excitement is like times 10 what it is whenever I see something that's like, well, this is in stock at whatever online retail place. I'm like, all right, ship, you know, go ahead and ship that crap to me.
Yeah.
You know, even though it's a more expensive and it's something that you know, maybe I like it more, maybe I don't. I don't know. You know, I enjoy my little $8 turtle figures just as much as I do my $200, you know, masterpiece stuff. You know, it's the joy of going to the store and finding it. You don't, as soon as you walk through that door, you don't know if it's going to be there or not.
Yeah.
And there's an excitement there. And I immediately open the figures whenever I get home. To where the stuff online, most of the time I don't.
I just hate burning my gas, so online always makes me happy. What I'll do is I'll see that they update shipping information. Sometimes I'll look, but then sometimes I don't. And I'm just like, whatever, surprise me. And that's how I get my joy.
Yeah, for me, I mean, like the Masters of the Universe Classics. I mean, sorry, to count Marzo, but it doesn't excite me anymore. I signed up for the subscription. whatever. But it's an every month thing, and it's like, okay, the UPS guy's gonna show up with my stuff, and I put it in a corner in the room, and I leave it there. But like what Josh was saying, like yesterday or the day before, I went to a couple of stores, and I mean, I wasn't really looking at the Power Ranger stuff, but I like their Red series, all the stuff that they're coming out with. So I bought 9 Power Ranger figures. I bought a whole bunch of Turtle stuff. I was looking for Transformers, but didn't come away with anything. But it is that joy to get something right now in hand, and at times. But if you talk to my wife, she just tell you that I'm an addict, and so anything works for me. But yeah, like I'm gonna get the blimp probably next week that Josh has back behind him. I have this nice design that I'm gonna do with the turtles. So I'm gonna pick up the playset, the little, not little, but the 4 feet high Blair. I'm gonna pick that up, and a couple of those zip line type of playsets too. But yeah, I mean, I enjoy getting stuff on e-tailers, and when it comes in, great, from eBay, cool. But at times, we talked about this before the Cybercast, it just goes right there on the shelf. I'm not gonna deal with it. I fiddle around with more of an $8 toy than a $200, $300 toy that I'm just gonna stick on the shelf and be like, oh, it's cool, right on. All right, I'm gonna go over here now. Sounds weird, but
I'm so excited to finally have this in my collection. All right, there you go.
there you go. Here's your spot.
Done.
Cool. Like I really like the LARP turtles. Putting them, all their stuff on and getting them together. I'm like, these are really cool. The paint jobs on them are fantastic, and I got a lot of joy out of those figures than I did with some of the stuff I got online. But I don't know. It also depends. Like when I got some of these other figures, like I don't know, Ape Link, the BotCon version, the original. I was excited when I was waiting. I was hounding the mailman, like, did you bring my package today? Because I want it. It's like, where is it? Like, I'm delivering it. You gotta wait. I was like, okay, I'll follow him through my neighborhood at times. But all right. Trent, welcome.
Thank you. How's it going?
Pretty good. Did you get anything this week? Any hauls?
Well, not a haul, but let's see. In the mail from like one of the members on the TF 2005, I picked up. I've always thought it was a cool figure. I had to pick him up because it was a good price. I picked up a Maki Toys Chaos Paladin, aka Not the Fallen, and today they had the Texas Toy Collectors Expo or something, and I didn't come away with as much as I wanted to, but I did find something that a figure I always thought was cool. I picked up Universe Drop Shot.
Where was the expo at?
It was at the Shriners. Shriners Hall.
Is it Houston?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's why I didn't go to that one. Jesus, that's a drive.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, a lot of people in like some states, especially the ones in the Northeast, they're like, dude, it's in your state. Why don't you go to all this stuff? I'm like, do you realize
what kind of a drive?
How big
Texas is?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. It'd take you a day just to go across the state. I mean, it's...
Yeah.
San Antonio, man, I like it. You live in San Antonio or Houston?
San Antonio.
Oh, okay. Sweet, man. I got a spot to crash, man, whenever I go vacation up there.
Well, it'd be kind of cramped because right now I'm in an efficiency. I'm in the process as soon as my lease is up. Hopefully, I plan on getting a real apartment.
Oh, sweet, man.
Cool. Right on. All right, so we got all the hauls out of the way. So, any Transformer news, things that you want to talk about, or you want to jump into some other stuff?
Stick of Transformers. Yeah.
Stick of Transformers.
It really gets to that point.
It gets to that point.
Yeah.
I do. I'm curious how everyone else feels about the Marissa Fairborn exclusive. with the Joe cycle, especially when you know that thing's going to be like $50 to $60 plus, and a lot of people have been saying you can go buy that freaking motorcycle playset thing for like $15 at Ross.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
so with that all kind of being said, what do you guys think about it?
I
Are you okay with it, kind of thing?
I think it's okay. I mean, we get the figure. I'm a GI Joe collector, so I'll just, if I get her, I'll stick her next to Flint, Lady J, and hey, there you go. But curiosity question, because Josh and I love this, is if they're willing to do that, and I know these guys want money, is Mask around the corner? I mean, let's give us the Mask toys. But as far as Marissa Fairborn, that's cool. I mean, I don't mind. Do you think they'll do something more with like the rest of the Technobots or some other?
Or just humans in general?
I mean,
It doesn't even have to be the Technobots
yeah.
Like, it
What
would
was
be
it that-
cool to have a Dr. Arkaville, and
Mhm.
you got you make him look all crazy and stuff like that, and just to just the figure. You don't even need anything else, but just him. And maybe you can do him two ways. You can do it before and after his accident. It's where he
Yeah.
had like robotic stuff in him. So you just do a figure 2-pack, and then just pair them up with your MP11 Starscream or whichever version you have, MP06, whatever. It just they look cool together. Post them up on his shoulder.
I'll
They're
be
like buddies, man. They're like Snoopy and Woodstock, basically.
I'll be honest. What I really would love to see is
Yeah.
give us a Verity Carlo, and then repaint and maybe put a new head on the new generation's Chromia coming out, and give it that. You know how Verity looked in Last Stand of the Wreckers with her Transformer parts or whatever. Put that in a 2-pack. I think that would be super tight. And then unarmored Olin Zarak and Navigator and Squirm and stuff like that.
Whatever happened to that character? Verity. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure Overlord freaking thumped her into the moon.
She did? I thought she
Was it?
escaped.
No, I was just.
Like, what the?
Verity, was that the human girl that was hanging with them?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dakota, nobody cares enough about the Wreckers thing.
Oh.
That kind of goes to another. You kept
One.
saying you want 3 3/4 inch human or humanoid type characters. Who else would you want? Like, I mean, you said those guys, but
Basically the BotCon guys or whatever. I mean, man, even Nebulans.
you go that route.
Nebulans.
Yeah.
Even Power Masters, Headmasters.
Oh, we can get a Sheeta and maybe a Hawk.
Maybe even a Genride, Josh.
Oh!
There
Yeah,
we
and
go.
not even in human clothes, but in their armored clothes. They have
We kinda
access to
got that.
all these Hasbro molds. You know what I mean? And they could totally rearrange that, set that up, make it work. That's what I'm talking about. I'm thinking outside of the box. I don't want Chip and Spike and Daniel
Carly
and Carly and
Sparkplug.
I will tell you
Sparkplug.
what, man. That Minerva in Japan, if
hmm
with her little in the
Or-
cartoon, her little short skirt and her schoolgirl outfit, we will never see that thing in the States because it will sell out on every single Japanese website.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not, and not even just that Minerva, but the
Cap.
Nightbeat comic that
Oh.
came with the Club Nightbeat, the Minerva in it, they could use a freaking Baroness and, with a different head or whatever, and that would totally
A
work.
grown-up Minerva.
Yeah, she was grown up. She was adult Minerva.
Yeah.
Something fierce, dude.
I'm sure that exists in video form over in Japan too. So.
So that's what I'm looking at it through.
Yeah.
Those kind of characters, you know what I mean?
And Chip, man, you
I'm always
think
going with Chip.
well, you guys think I'm always joking, but I'm serious. I think that he was a pretty big character, and everyone remembers Spike and kind of like Carly, but
The
Chip was
Avengers.
right in there, and there was a lot of times to where Chip was the key to success
Yeah.
You know, in a lot
Yeah.
of those missions. So I mean, he was really impactful, and I also think that it's awesome that you know that he's in a wheelchair, and to where it could even inspire like kids, to where if they have some type of disability or something like that, to
Yeah.
where they can look at this guy and be like, look, it was here. You have these powerful robots, you have the army, everything, and the guy with a disability is the one that saved the day or saved the planet and something like that. And that's the same thing that they did with Daredevil, where he was blind, and that kind of really inspired a lot of blind kids to where they were like they enjoyed having their parents read them the comic and stuff like that because they could imagine this. So that's something that Marvel and Stan Lee dipped into, and that's kind of that's the way that I look at that character. And I think that that's very significant, to and like toy history. That here's a guy in a wheelchair, and he's smart, and he uses basically his not other powers, but other things. He's like, well, you know what, not out there, playing sports, but you know what, I can be here and I can learn and I can, he's inventing things. It was really cool. So. And like where he was like, hey, here's a little thumb thing for what was it, Spike. So, I mean, that's the way I kind of look at that character. So I mean, you get what I'm saying now instead of what Dakota mentioned on Cybercast. God, I wasn't trying to be funny or like make fun of the character. I was actually serious. Like this is a little piece of like toy history, just kind of like Daredevil is, and some of the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I see that. I'm talking about like the club making all this, by the way. I'm not talking about Hasbro making any of it.
No,
So,
that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like that. Chip, the wheelchair and everything. I think that's awesome.
But inspiring kids is going to be difficult for a child to get a $60.
Well, I'm saying that kids back in the '80s were in.
Okay.
The character in general
You're
was
talking about the toy coming
older,
out.
and now they're older, like our age.
I got you.
From G1 to where if there's some kid that, or not kid, but some 30-year-old or mid-30s person, and they're in a wheelchair, they're like, you know what, I love Chip, because it was kind of inspirational, and that kind of character for them, to where now they can actually get that figure. That's what I was saying. Not that like.
Well, you ran everything
4-year-old
together, so I got like confused.
That's what I do, Dakota. I thought you'd catch on by now, but
I just
still got a lot to learn.
73 episodes, 73 weeks of just knowing you, and it's like I still can't get it. I still don't understand.
Well, we've known each other for
See,
long now.
For me, I don't know if I'd want 3 3/4 inch figures as far as like. I like the Nebulon, Headmaster, Power Master, Godmaster type theme because they'd be action figures. They'd have something they could do. But as far as like getting a Chip character, a Carly, a Spike, what action would you like action figure? I mean, it would just be
put
like
a hard hat on Spike.
it's just and to
They could
justify that money. I mean, yeah, it's cool to have the character, but my toy shelf is just fine. My G1 toy shelf is just fine without that Spike, to complete it or to do anything, or even my Chug line. I mean, but it's nice, but I don't know. We'll see what they do with this. Now, if they could do like a only human, like 5-pack, or you get Snake in there, you get Ultra Magnus, the old geezer, in the overalls. You get Rodimus, you get Springer, and then RC. That would be cool. And
Man, that's like us guys.
so,
Like, Dave, you'd obviously be Ultra Magnus.
thanks. Appreciate it.
And then Dakota, I know he would want to be Springer. So, God, man, I get stuck with the freaking King
You
Slayer.
get Rodimus. Either that or RC.
Dude, BRC.
I was gonna say, couldn't you just be RC? Because I think that fits you a little bit better than Kingslayer.
Yeah, she likes like kittens and stuff. So,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, but then Springer likes RC. That's just weird between.
Remember that picture I posted with A-Plank and Flame War or Flare Up on Twitter? Dude, it'd be perfect. It's meant to be.
Just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Yeah, dude. Just let nature run its course.
All right. Well, yeah, you have a comment here, and it's from Alpha Tryon 92. Dude, I love how this guy he like always like is just messing with Dakota. I love it. But well, actually, anyone that does it, I like him. But he says so. The character Scourge pretty much dead now in favor of Nemesis Prime. Is referring to like always know Scourge as
Talking about
leader
car
of the
robot
Sweep.
Scourge or RID
Yeah.
Scourge.
I don't recognize him. That's always Nemesis Prime or Black Convoy. I can't recognize him, calling him that.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the Sweeps.
What was
They
he called?
did that just to save the name. To save the name is all they did that for.
Yeah. I think in Car Robots he was referred. I think
He
that's
was
where
Black
the
Convoy.
convoy.
Black
Yeah.
Convoy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just for some stupid reason Hasbro decided, hey, call him Scourge.
But I like this personality though. In
Oh,
some
yeah.
cases he actually seemed like he might be a better leader than Megatron. Sometimes
He was like Starscream, but got things done and made
smarter.
advancement.
In other words, he was a legitimate threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was ruthless.
I just hate the name that we need to kind of give this guy a we need to save that name or so we can keep on using it. So let's put it on this. I mean, it's like, well, we're about to lose Swindle. What's the next figure up? Ultra Magnus. Call him Swindle.
Call him Swindle.
We
What I don't
gotta
get,
keep the name thing.
why not I kind of get why we never got a character called God Magnus because of the whole Western civilization ordeal there. But why not even Convoy or Black Convoy? I would love to walk into a Walmart and see a Hasbro product, Black Convoy, or Fire Convoy or Convoy something.
Yeah, I admit it. I've always wondered why they've never used that name on any character.
Yeah. He's already pre-established, so they can't. I mean, that would be weird now if they did it.
Well, here's the thing with I guess if you can say the West or America or whatever like that. This country did something very, very awful, a few decades ago, with racism and stuff like that, and there's still some of those people out there, but I see that they're very the way that things are done. They're very sensitive. They're like overly sensitive to where like if you ask someone something, they'd be like, "Dude, I don't care," But they really kind of took out the word black from a lot of stuff, because they don't be like, oh, well, this is it's a black figure and we're calling it Black Convoy or whatever. Even Black Shadow, we're calling Dark Shadow,
or
Sky Shadow.
Or okay. So like you could ask Trent, hey dude, do you mind if they call it Black Convoy?
No
shit, but they're like, this is what people think, and they're very
PC.
I don't know. Yeah, they walk extremely soft on eggshells, and it's like, look. I mean, just it happened. It's awful.
Yeah.
It's in history. It's one of the worst things that ever happened in the world. That, and some of the wars that have gone on. But it's done, and now it's getting better from it. But you don't have to. I mean,
nobody would care.
Yeah, but there's that group out there that scrutinize everything. I mean, toys especially. I mean, the gun laws happening in the 80s, going into the 90s, and just things you can't have so much. Like, you saw it in video games in the, late 90s.
Yeah, Mortal
Violence,
Kombat.
All that type of stuff. Mortal Kombat, Super Nintendo, we're not going to have the blood in there. for the Genesis, you had a code to put the blood in there, but you couldn't have it in there. It's just all these things that, you know, you see worse things on TV if you just watch the world news, but yet you can't have it in a video game, and, you know, parents aren't, I believe, not doing their job. You just don't have a kid, and then the kid gets raised by the TV. You know, you still have a job, but
I mean, 9/11, they actually showed live the building coming down.
mhm.
I mean, you literally saw hundreds of people lose their lives. And I was, I was like, what about the people that were connected? Because my grandma was actually on a flight, and they ended up landing her in Georgia 30 minutes before they were about to start shooting down the planes. Because they were like, if you weren't grounded by a certain time, then they were going to shoot you out of the sky.
Yeah.
And thinking that you might cause more damage. So luckily she got there, landed in Atlanta, Georgia, and had to go pick her up there, which is a long drive. But
yeah. Well, let's get back on topic with the whole
Okay.
Scourge
okay,
and
Yeah.
Black Convoy and all that. I mean,
Yeah, I kind of
Well,
agree
even
with Josh when they were calling them Scourge. I was like, I'll settle for either Black Convoy, Dark Convoy, Destron, or something. But
Yeah.
Scourge, I'm like, no. There's only one Scourge.
yeah,
And
even
he shot that
Destron,
guy.
because I mean that's what Decepticons were,
Yeah.
and so
yeah. I remember it's weird because they did a commercial, a toy commercial when, I don't know, it's on YouTube. I'm sure you guys have seen it, where when Optimus dies from the movie or something, there's a crowd of people and there's helicopters lifting Convoy, Optimus, and there's that little boy who looks, he's a white Caucasian, English speaking, and he screams out, not Optimus, he screams out Convoy, all that kind of stuff, because he wants them to come back, and and it's weird that they decided not to associate with that name. I think it stems from, the TV show. Probably Hasbro and Takara don't get along. I still, to this day, don't think that they see eye to eye.
Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy.
But, I would
I
rather
mean, I still get a kick out of seeing like the preliminary shot of Transformers the movie, and you got Ultra Magnus there in his Diaclone colors. I kind of chuckled when I saw that, because I remember seeing pictures of it when I was a kid, and I thought it was a knockoff. Oops, I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong.
But
yeah, that's one of those last minute changes too, because that they were gonna do the colors like that, and then they changed it up. It was kind of a last minute thing.
yeah. Any other Transformer topics you guys want to dive into? Or
Going back to Marissa Fairborn, actually, it's something I wasn't expecting, so therefore, I can be down, with it. It would be something nice and new to have from the Collectors Club, and hopefully we get to see more of it, like you guys said, Nebulans and God Masters, Power Masters, everything.
Yeah.
Just not the regular G1 cast. I mean, not really all that exciting by themselves.
Yeah, you'd hope that we get more and just not get, Marissa Fairborn, because, I mean, right now, what's she going to fit with? The San Diego Comic-Con, G.I. Joe versus Transformers,
Basically.
series, which I don't know, a lot of us have. Do you guys have those?
Nope.
So it's like she's going to be sitting on the shelf by herself, and it's just kind of weird.
But, as far as Spike and Carly, not the season 1 and 2 versions, but the season 3 versions, I'd be fine with.
Oh, when they're in their little, like, futuristic suits.
Just
thing.
as Marissa Fairborn has.
What did you say? Season 2. Okay. So you want season 3 the adults?
See, what? Go for it.
Basically, yeah, because the season 1, it's okay, but there's not going to be a whole lot of excitement behind, not the full exclusivity of it.
Yeah. I'd rather have some quintessons
It'd be cool.
from the.
Quintessons would be cool.
Quintessence,
I
Leptonians,
I still want a Rumble as a tree.
You just want those kind of obscure.
I think
If we're
it'd just
getting
be
at human
funny.
characters, I want that annoying gal who fell in love with Power Glide. That's the human character I want. Or the girl that Sea Spray fell in love with. She can have, the mermaid body. You can have a 2-pack of her, and whatnot.
Thing I'm curious about, though, Marissa Fairborn is in the IDW comics right now, so she's not as really an irrelevant character anymore. She's still there.
He's an idiot.
So I think I don't know, just with her being relevant now again in some way, shape, form, or fashion. That was probably the deciding point behind that. That and the whole Flint Lady J's daughter thing, kind of further cementing the two universes.
But it's weird that they killed Lady J in the comic books, in the Devil's Due version.
Wait, what? That really happened?
Wasn't that the Dreamwave deal though?
Was that? I thought it was under Devil's Due.
I like Lady J.
Yeah, she got shot and killed.
I gotta think for short-haired brunettes. So.
Okay, now I saw where I think IDW now has a G.I. Joe franchise now, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay, did they get rid of that, or is she still deceased?
They likely got rid of it. I mean, IDW kind of writes their own version of these originals.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, as far as G1 comic goes, like that's their interpretation of how the events unfolded in the Generation 1 universe. So I can only assume the same for G.I. Joe. But again, I haven't read any of their Joe comics, so.
Yeah, I haven't read any of theirs. I read the previous ones. But okay, well, if she's relevant in the comic book, that's cool. It's just kind of disappointing that they couldn't have done that with, I forgot her name now from Last Stand of the Records.
Verity Carla, yeah.
When she was relevant and kind of taken that.
Popular too.
Yeah, and taken that kind of route, especially with Whirl Roadbuster coming out, and you have some of these wreckers.
It may have, it may have been because the right mold isn't available for her yet, and by that I mean the Generations Chromia. I mean, if anyone is familiar with how Verity kind of operated in the comic, what she looked like and all that, that Generations Chromia is screaming for like a red and black repaint into Verity's armored up form, and then hell, give us a 3 3/4 inch to go with it. That'd be super awesome. If they wanted to keep doing that human route, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be nice. But I'm going back to what Josh and I like. If they're doing this, let's do Mask. And what's your question?
Dalton, do you know what this is? Let me show you, brah. Look at that. Bam.
So pristine. So mint.
It is. If I had to grade it, it's about 8.
Did Dalton freeze up?
No, he's still trying to figure out what I just showed him.
Yeah, I think he froze up.
Froze?
Yeah, he froze.
All right, we'll kick him.
Yeah, sorry, Dalton. But, we've seen those tweets of that, Optimus repainted as Rhino and such. It would be, are we getting closer to a Mask? Or are we just getting pretty much
closer to people screwing with me and you? Because
yeah,
just so happens we talked about that last week, and 3 days later they put that up there.
Yep.
I think someone's screwing with you guys, to be honest with you.
Well, I know it was a mock.
I could see it happening.
I wanted to point out, they were like, "Well, this is actually just a mock." I'm like, "Well, I know that. I'm just saying that, just the buzz to talk about it. It's someone messing with me." So.
I mean, there's all that. I mean, I could see it happening. I mean, there's all that. I mean, I know there has to be all that Cybertronian technology that's still left on Earth, and some of the shady organizations or private military and industrial complexes might have gotten their hands on it, and maybe the government formed a covert strike force in order to deal with it.
They could go off of the Transformers Prime line. I mean, what was Cyrus's group called?
Yeah, exactly.
They could
Mech.
turn into Venom.
Venom,
You know,
exactly.
and they already had
Then
a mass team because we
they
already
could
knew
be,
that.
and they could be backed by they could be backed, under the table deals done with extensive enterprises.
Oh,
You know,
get the Crimson
yeah,
Guard commanders in there, Tomax and
yeah.
Xamot. Nice.
They could be
Oh,
the
we're
ones
going
that could
full
be
circle
financing
here.
them. Hell yeah, let's go for it.
I'm getting
Let's
excited.
throw them all in there.
I mean,
Marvel,
we
like Hasbro, needs to have its own universe.
Yep.
I'm sick of Marvel. Because DC ain't no threat, unfortunately.
don't talk about my Batman.
I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that.
Dude, I'm all still
I
riding
didn't know
on
we had.
the '90s Batman. I think the Nolan films are fine, but I just can't do.
Let her go.
Batman, you know.
The Batman.
Gravelly voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I don't know why Hasbro don't just get some writers together and start crafting their own Hasbro universe. They've got all the tools for it.
It's called
right there.
IDW Publishing, Trent.
Oh, okay. Okay. Exactly.
I don't want any freaking ponies in there. I know there's like some
Oh,
male.
they're going to be ponies.
There's going to be ponies.
You're just going to have to accept ponies.
G.I. Joe riding into battle on ponies. Yay!
Oh, yeah. And then you can throw Jim and the holograms in there too, because I'd heard this crazy rumor that Zartan's daughter, her mother was actually possessed from the Misfits. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Zarana, nice.
Well, I mean, they are coming out with a Jim.
No,
movie,
not no.
so.
Yeah, Zarana's Zartan's sister.
Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
the gal that's from the Devil's Due. Yeah, I remember her.
Yeah.
Long-haired. Yeah. Nice.
Hey, just go ahead and Hasbro have your own cinematic universe. And My Little Ponies, they could be on their own planet, and maybe do a story where like.
They need to be the cartoon that whenever they turn on TV, that's like what they're watching. Like on Ninja Turtles, they always have that like weird Japanese anime thing.
Captain, what are we doing? Dish!
Boom! Dude, I actually want to see that cartoon that the Turtles watch on the new Nickelodeon cartoon.
Yeah.
But that's your way to let them be in there. It's just...
That's what kind of got me about the Turtles back in the late '80s. The intro was hype, but then when you watch the actual show, I'm like, the intro was so much more. Yeah.
I hated when cartoons had really kick-ass intros, Silverhawks,
Yes.
and then you get into it and you're like, okay, yeah, I see it, but damn it, can we have the intro again, like in the ending credits? Replay that.
Speaking of ending credits, X-Men from the '90s. Now the cartoon was okay, but just that ending scene, the way they started coming on like through the week, and the ending scene where the X-Men are with Magneto and they're fighting the Sentinels, I'm like, that's kind of what I want to see.
Dell loved X-Men in the '90s. As far as the cartoon, I mean, they went pretty deep. From the beginning to all the way to the Phoenix. So
or even beyond that, yeah.
Yeah, they actually.
They went Future Wars. Like you saw the new movie. I mean, yeah, they had Cable and Bishop and all that stuff.
And I think they did a good,
Sinister and Sauron and
good team too.
Yeah, they did. They managed to cram almost like 20 years worth of history, and they compressed it and made it logical and understandable. Because there's some crazy stuff that happened over the years in the comics.
Yeah.
I think that's probably one of the better cartoons.
Yeah.
A lot of the Marvel stuff, I mean, I enjoyed. Some of it wasn't as good as others, like Spider-Man, X-Men, fantastic. Then you got Iron Man, Fantastic Four. Wasn't really as good, but when they had, other appearances of other Marvel characters, it was kind of cool, like the Thing taking on the Hulk, or having Ghost Rider show up, to take out Galactus. I mean, of all, heroes, it's Ghost Rider doing the penance stare on Galactus to take him down. It's kind of weird.
One big soul to burn.
But, even with Iron Man, he still had that playboy type of, kind of a jerk mentality, but, he had other people in there, and it was pretty cool.
What was great about the X-Men is where they had a strength, they where the strength of the power was also kind of their weakness as well.
Yeah.
Because you take Wolverine, adamantium, and the metal going through him. Well, God, you're the last person that needs to go battle Magneto, because he could just rip your body apart and just send you flying, all the metal flying into everyone else.
She did.
Professor X or Xavier, you know exactly what people were thinking. It's gonna be some boring conversations to have with people. It's like, so what do you think? Oh, never mind. Okay, well that's. Where do you want to go? Well, all right.
And
Hey, you want? All right, well let's go. I mean, it's just or Rogue. Her powers. And then.
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
had
so they always had something awesome, but at the same time, it was a disadvantage for them in other situations. So that was always kind of cool. I really thought that was awesome. I like the way that they did that. Just beautiful created characters, and I always liked where whenever I was reading my comic cards and be like, and this is the son, and Quicksilver's the son of Magneto. I was like, what? Oh, and just figuring all of that stuff out and finding out that like all these mutants, I mean, they're all sleeping together and stuff like that.
Wolverine obsessed with Jean. Cyclops. Jean.
Oh, don't get me started on the whole
triangle
Inferno thing. Madeline Pryor.
Oh yeah, and then Havoc. Cyclops'
Oh,
brother
yeah.
falling in love with Madeline
With
Pryor,
her-
who is the
his
wife
brother's
of
wife.
Cyclops.
Yes, going with
The
his brother's
friggin'
wife. They got scandalous, man. Oh,
Yeah.
man, it got scandalous.
It got real.
I mean, there's some deep stuff in there to where, like, I mean, that's I don't know. Do you call it writing? I mean, when you come up with these characters, I mean, it's just, oh my god, like it goes really deep. So I mean, as far the Marvel stuff, I love it. I love X-Men, Marvel, and I love Spider-Man. X-Men the most though.
The deal with Marvel, they're always on. They're always going to the next level. They're always doing this new thing, like the female Thor, the Captain America Falcon, with the Falcon becoming the new Captain America, stuff like that. And this female Thor, it's not Thor having a private's change. It's Mjolnir essentially deems him unworthy, basically, and a new a woman comes along, picks the hammer up, and she is Thor. It just taking all this stuff in a new direction. And it's of course nothing's ever permanent in Marvel, so they always set this stuff up for such like fantastic storytelling. What will the Thor that we know be going through? Will he become a bad guy because his hammer deems him unworthy? Will he have this huge like soul searching journey? What's going to happen? But Marvel has always been just tip top. With the new ideas and hitting, just keeping the interest of the reader, like Doc Ock and being in Spider-Man's body essentially.
Oh yeah.
You remember that, dude?
Yep.
Doc Ock and May were dating too.
Absolutely insane.
Back in the day.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, you're in the body of the nephew of the woman that you were dating.
Weird.
Like, that's got to be kind of awkward. It had to be some kind of only to him that had to be awkward sometimes.
Yeah. And
But the fact of the matter is, you never
great
knew.
Spider-Ham.
You never knew what. Yeah. You never knew what he was gonna do. You know what I mean? You don't know where the story's going next. With DC, man, I feel like I can just pick up a comic and just know exactly what's gonna happen. They don't.
Always the same.
And they never change their formula. And when they do, it's mediocre at best.
Well, some are, the greatest characters made though. Even though, like, let's say, DC versus Marvel, I don't even have that look. It's like I love X-Men and I love Batman, and it's like, well, if it's DC versus, who cares?
Who cares?
Look, man, you're just all
Amen.
superheroes, to me. So I get that there's these different
That's a cool crossover.
writings, but to me, they're all cool. I love them all, but I do think that DC, they've got two of the best, marketable
well-known
and-
characters ever. Yeah.
and well-known characters that Marvel can't even touch, and that is Superman and that is
And
Batman.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, if you want to,
But
as
what are
far
they
as a woman,
doing
you
with
can
it?
throw Wonder Woman in there as well.
The
Yeah.
Trinity.
Yep.
The thing is, what are they doing with them though? They're like
Nothing.
exactly nothing.
I mean,
Nothing
they-
really
they-
worth a
they
crap.
came out with movies for them 2 years ago, and they're coming out with a new one.
Yeah,
is-
those movies are hardly. I mean, man,
They do, but they don't interact them together, which is weird. Like Marvel did a fantastic job when they started interacting. Iron Man, not just talking about it, but interacting the characters, so they start to dip into other people's movies.
Well,
You don't see that as
They're
much.
doing Batman, Superman, and Batman.
How long did it take them to do it, though?
they're not only are they doing it, but the date, didn't they change the date because it was going to be conflict? It was going to come out on the same weekend as what was it, Captain America 3
Mhm.
or
It's a
what
Marvel
movie?
family.
Yeah, it was going to be a Marvel movie, but I don't think it was going to be the Avengers 2. It was something kind of in between.
Well, that's
But-
smart because most comic book superhero, they're fans of the like me. I don't
Sure.
care who came it out.
There's
I'm a fan
that.
of
But I don't think they did it. I don't think they did it because I care what this guy if he likes Marvel too. No, they were like, oh my God, what if that guy wants to see the Marvel movie more than they want to see our movie?
Well, you
You
don't want to
know-
have two blockbusters come out at the same week.
If you're competitive, you do.
Here's the thing, though. Like,
They're not standing behind. In my opinion, they're just not standing behind this thing. They're putting so much work and effort into.
Yeah.
Avengers was successful. Why haven't they done Justice League?
Well,
That is
they're
the-
trying to do a Justice League, but I feel like Warner Brothers or whoever, they're rushing it.
They don't even want to give Wonder Woman her own movie.
Are you serious? Because I thought that they had already selected.
They have. She's
I think
gonna
she's-
make an appearance in Superman and Batman, but as far as her own movie yet,
And she may make an appearance. There's
And
no.
I think they picked the wrong Wonder Woman too. The Wonder Woman that I think would be the best
Megan Fox.
is.
Please
God,
don't.
Jesus, no. Her name is Bridget something. There was a show called the Legend of the Seeker or something like that. Like she was in there. She's dark haired, beautiful, body figure, to where it fitted out to where you'd look at, that's Wonder Woman because she's full everywhere it needs to be. And
Everywhere she needs to be.
well, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
know.
like,
Your superficial view on beauty. Is
I'm not talking Play Art Sky type Wonder Woman. I'm talking about
Japanese anime.
just nice looking Wonder Woman. But they did it back in a Batman the Animated Series in the 90s, and they also had Superman as well, which is done by the same animators. That's always I watch the Superman. I'm not a big fan of Superman at all. I do watch all the Christopher Reeves movies because I find them entertaining. But they'd have crossovers every once in a while because I remember Bruce Wayne even went over to Metropolis one time, and him and Lois Lane were like really clicking to where Lois Lane was even thinking about moving to Gotham City because
He's a billionaire. Clark, you suck.
She loved Bruce Wayne and loved Superman, but hates Batman and Clark Kent. So
yeah, exactly.
It was weird. So so they've done some crossovers with that with the cartoon, and I think that you'll see that as far as toys where we know we're getting those
Justice League Unlimited.
Batman the animated figures. The ones that are going to be 6-inch posable. They're going to have be about $20 to $22. They want to continue that whole line there. That Superman is going to follow that as well. And you know what? I'll probably buy those too, just because I like that style. probably my favorite style of animation, and also like the way that Transformers animated is animated too. So just guess next week, which is going to be really fun.
So yeah, it's gonna be Justice League. I mean, I admit DC did a great job with Justice League Unlimited or Justice
Yeah.
League and Justice League Unlimited. That was great. The toys at first weren't that great, but then they started putting articulation in their knees and their elbows, so they were a lot better as far as posability. But the writing was good. Bruce Timm always does a great job, and I forget all the rest of the guys that did it too. I mean, they're the same guys who gave us Batman. They gave us Batman Beyond. It's a toss-up between the cartoons, Marvel and DC, because they're really good. But as far as like movies, live action, it's gonna always be Marvel. I don't see DC utilizing their power players as good as they should be. When you
Yeah.
take a Captain America, and that Winter Soldier movie was kick-ass, I thought. It had a lot of great stuff out of it. You take maybe one of the Batman movies, I didn't really care for the Dark Knight Rising or whatever it was. Dark Knight was good, or whichever, the one that with the Joker, but with Bane and all that story, I didn't care.
Yeah, I think they
Um,
turned out to be. And the problem is DC and Warner
That was
Bros.
the
They're
worst one.
rushing it, and I
Yeah,
think they're
it's
painting themselves into a corner.
Yeah, but they're animated movies that they bring out. They're one-shots. DC does
Yeah.
a fantastic job on.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why Marvel can't do that. That's one leg up on DC, is getting those out. I mean, there's just a new one that just came out this week of Batman Arkham something or whatever it was.
that just
DC
came
is
out
showing
this
them
week.
out a lot quicker. But then when I remember when Hulk versus came out, I was, oh my god, I still watch that.
Yeah, versus Thor versus Wolverine.
Yeah, so every now and again, Marvel will come out with a golden animated one shot.
Yeah.
But it's every now and again. It's not every week like DC does.
Yeah.
And that's what sucks for sure.
I saw that new Batman, the Assault on Arkham.
Yeah, that's the one.
I had it probably about a month ago, but it's pretty good. It gives you beginning and end, and they also had Son of Batman that came out I think prior to that.
Mm-hmm.
That was good. Then you also had
The Red Hood was good. I like that one.
Well, yeah, and I mean they even did it back then, with the animated series where Mask of the Phantasm. You also have God, who is it that?
Good.
Well, there was one that it's not too old. It's maybe a year or something like that, but it has like there's like a ton of cussing in it. That's the one thing about these.
Well, year one?
What's up?
Was it year one? Batman year one?
Yes.
I
So
love
he like has like huge tank. Like
So
it's like he's driving like the Technodrome up on these dudes, and it's just like beating them up. I mean, it's a different take on Batman, but it's still really cool. So it's cool seeing all these different takes on Batman, and they're just one-shot movies, and they don't go together. But still, as a huge Batman fan, you appreciate each one because you're because even though they're all completely different, you can also be like, you know what, I still, even Batman, he's a little bit different as well, not just as far as animation, but kind of the way he acts maybe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It all kind of relates together, which is strange. So that's something that I think the animators and writers do a fantastic job on. Really was surprised by that.
I was really surprised that Batman Beyond did really well, because that's the first time you're taking a character, an iconic character like Batman, and giving the mantle to someone else.
Somebody else, yeah.
Yeah, Terry McGinnis, of all people. It wasn't Dick Grayson. It wasn't, Tim Drake. It wasn't, Batman's son. This was some dude. Well, I mean, it technically became, his son with the DNA was put in there with his mom and all that. But I don't care about that.
Jumped the shark with that one.
But it was cool to see him. Like, I'm getting too old for this. I need another freaking Batman. So we need this. And you got Terry McGinnis, which was really cool. You couldn't do that with Superman, obviously, because there's no one out there that has his powers and all that. But well, besides you,
Superman
Dakota.
could repopulate a little bit easier,
Yeah, I think of
Idiot and
Hancock
Batman
though.
good.
Have you seen
Yeah.
Hancock the movie?
Yeah.
Where he's
Yeah.
with Gal
That
and he had to
deleted
like
scene.
throw her off, and then all of a sudden he. Yeah, I kind of see that as Superman.
There was a story in the comic, it was one of those. It was back about 20 years ago. Yeah. It was a story called Armageddon 2001, where they were showing possible futures.
Yeah.
And one of the stories is that Lois Lane was pregnant with Clark Kent's child. They were married and they were expecting. I think what happened was is that the baby kicked her and she died.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And subsequently the baby died too. So I think that was kind of like the last breaking point for Superman, and he actually left and went out of space, and he ran back up to this chick. I don't know if y'all remember this character, but does anyone here remember this character who had red hair? Her name was Maxima.
Yep.
Thank you.
The
Yeah.
Doomsday. Part of the Justice League in the time of Doomsday. Yep.
Yeah. He ran back into her, and she originally had came to Earth because she saw him. She was like, "Yeah, that's the one I'm destined to be with." That's pretty much why she came to Earth when she first showed up.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Superman the animated series?
No, this was back in the comics.
Oh, comics. Okay.
Yeah.
And then at the end of Kingdom Come, when they did like at the end of the trade paperback of Kingdom Come, that Alex Ross possible future storyline, supposedly Wonder Woman was pregnant with Superman's kid because Batman could tell. He was like, "You gained weight." Yeah.
But Bruce was only just laying it on thick,
Yeah.
Hey, girl, you looking big.
Yeah. World's greatest detective here, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, your face looking fuller. You're eating a lot more
You got
than
that glow.
You're pregnant. Yeah.
You know what? DC is actually kind of stepping up a little bit. Not as far as cartoon, but if you watch the CW, Arrow, for basically Green Arrow, that's an awesome
Arrow's
show.
good.
I
Yes, Arrow's
love that show. And they used it to help try to spin off a Flash, or the Flash. So I've seen the first episode of that. I want to see how the story develops, but okay. But Arrow is just solid. Like, I never had any type of attachment to Green Arrow, and I was just like, well, whatever.
Which Green Arrow is it?
It's a boring character. What?
Who? I'm just curious because I haven't watched it. Who's Green Arrow? Is it Oliver Queen?
It's Oliver Queen.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, just making sure.
Yeah, so I've never had any attachment to that character because I was always like, man, I like the X-Men and I like Batman, and it's totally two different things. You got mutants and then you got one guy that doesn't have any powers whatsoever. But that was one of the things that fascinated me about him.
But the deal with Arrow, though, I could see where that would be like an ideal TV show, much like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because you can't make a movie. You can't make a movie on those characters. But the Flash, like, he's deserving of a movie, not a freaking low. I don't want to say a low budget TV show, but I mean it's definitely a lower budget than what a movie.
You got a TV show though.
Yeah,
but
I just.
Yeah, the TV
not
show.
today.
I mean, there's no reason that you can't have both, even if you don't even use the same actors, and it doesn't even have to tie into each other either.
What I'm hoping.
The Arrow, for the ones that have seen it on Trent, you said you've seen it.
Yeah.
When it comes on, there's a lot of shows to where whenever things come on and it's on my DVR, to where I'm just like, all right, I'll watch that. Like Defiance, man, I've got like 4 episodes on my DVR. I was like, I'll eventually get around to watch them. Turn, I got like 8 episodes on there. Arrow is one of those. It's on. If I didn't work nights, then I'd watch the sucker live. But because I've got my websites and stuff like that that I have. As soon as it goes live, I can watch it. I have to watch it right then. It's the first thing that I watch. You know,
I'll have to
it's
admit,
so good.
I have to admit, I kind of jumped on the bandwagon late because as soon as my friend told me, he was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, Deathstroke the Terminator showed up." You're like, "Oh, click."
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the guy that is Deathstroke. He's also the guy that has been in all three Spartacus that was on Stars, which was a great
Which guy
TV.
was it? Because I love Spartacus.
He's the guy that played Gannicus.
The guy that
Yeah,
played.
no, no,
Oh,
no,
nice.
no. He's not Gattakus. He is from like the first one, from the very first one, because you know how the first series came out, it was like the middle, and
Yes,
then
yes.
they
I'm sorry.
did the second was the prequel, and then they did the last one was the third. Crixus.
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
Crixus.
Crixus?
Yeah,
Dang.
Crixus. I'm sorry. I'm sometimes get those names confused. Yeah,
Yeah.
Crixus.
Yeah, Gattakus was in yes, season 2, and you know he was like the main thing, and that's when Crixus was basically like, "I want to be you," and then he was the dude until in the first season until you know Spartacus was basically ended up being the dude.
I always liked how Gattakus and Spartacus were like one for one the entire run of the last like 2 seasons or whatever, with the exception of like Spartacus throwing a spear better than him, but. That was a show. That's a show I really liked.
That was another thing. You know that was basically like Arrow is. You know, it's like as soon as it came out, I had to watch it. Dexter had to watch that.
That's how I am with Black Sails. I can't wait for Black Sails to come back on.
See, I've never even seen that.
It was on Stars.
Oh yeah, that one. Oh yeah.
Dude. It came on right as I was like on my Assassin's Creed 4 high. So it just like everything just translated. And now I'm like, oh my god, I want more pirates.
Did you ever watch what was the name of that show? Crossbones.
No, I
think
didn't.
that's what it's called. John Malkovich was in there. He was supposed to have been Blackbeard, but he was an older Blackbeard though. He was an older Blackbeard, and he was kind of mellowed out. Because at first he wouldn't come out and admit he was Blackbeard. You know, he let everybody believe he was dead until everyone started to put it together that, oh crap, you were Blackbeard. And he'd be like, oh crap, the secret's out.
Kind of changing up a little bit, still staying on TV. You guys know there's a new Terminator in the works, right?
Yeah, I saw that. And Arnold's in it too.
I put that on the
Really?
G1 Hexatron Facebook page, so a little shout out, little something there on G1 Hexatron or yeah. So a little shout out to myself. It's on there. I didn't share it with Cybercast Network just because it's not Transformers related, and I don't want to get the things mixed up, and people will be like, "This is not." I get that all the time whenever I review like an Ninja Turtle. Someone's like, "This is the worst Transformer figure I've ever seen."
If you think it's a Transformers figure, man, you gotta get some help.
Gosh,
when you start reviewing Beast Wars, dude.
They're like Dakota, man. They get mad at me because like I'm just on this turtle high and I love it, and they're the ones coming out with all the new stuff, you know. So that's what I wanted to do. Yeah.
Oh
you know, like last week I said, all right, we're done for Turtles for a while, so we're gonna get back to Transformers, and then it was Monday we're doing this blimp. So, but yeah, man. What do you want? What do you expect or want to see in Terminator 5 or whatever? I forget what they're calling it.
Genesis. Genesis.
Yeah. It's a weird way of spelling Genesis. Yeah, that's what it's called. What do you want to see? Terminator 1 was great. Terminator 2, man, I might put up there in the top. That is for sure in the top 10 best action movies I've ever seen in my life. Maybe in the top 5, probably. I just absolutely loved it, especially the effects for the time.
Mm-hmm.
And Terminator 3, man, I remember whenever I saw that poster go up that they're coming out with Terminator 3. I felt that like after I watched that, if I died right after that, then at least I could die happy because I finally got to see a Terminator 3 because I wanted to see the continuation of the story. I was so disappointed.
Yeah, it was.
Terminator 4, I wish they would have went kind of a little bit of a way there. It was one of those things where it's like, I mean, it's all right.
Yeah, what happened to Terminator 4? Did they ever send anyone back in time in that one?
No.
No.
it was
No.
It was before. It was before, because during that movie, Kyle Reese was quote unquote still a teenager.
Yeah.
Then yeah, in this number 5, I'd like to see them send them back in time. Kyle Reese back in time.
I want to see Jonathan Powers go that route. There we go.
You know what? I've always
talking about.
wondered. You know what? I remember when that show used to come on and they showed the future. They would always say it's the 22nd century and the machines have won. And I'm like, okay, are they picking up from the future of the Terminator? Because I've always wondered that. Because I'm like, okay, whose war with the machines are we talking about here?
Okay, let's see.
The Alex Murphy.
When was the Terminator? When did they say the war was over?
Terminator takes place pretty much if you're going by the old 1980 movie, hell, should be happening right about now, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely going on
say-
right now.
Well, according to
when was it over?
Got messed up. Remember?
Okay, here on Captain Power,
Yeah.
when
Captain
the Metal
Power-
Wars are over, is 2147.
Yep.
22nd century, yeah.
According to the events that happened in the second and third movie, the time flow got messed up, so things are happening further into the future than they're supposed to.
Okay.
Remember in Terminator 3,
Well, because
Judgment Day
obviously they affect time. Sending people out. They affect time, so it might push dates back. So that's actually kind of a cool thing that you could always place in there as well.
So in other words, they just postponed it.
Yeah,
yeah, postponed it by like 10 years or something, 10 or 15 years or something like that.
Well, didn't they mention it in Terminator 3 that
Yeah.
he was supposed to meet that gal beforehand, but all this stuff happened in Terminator 2, and so he got out of school and he didn't meet, his
he was
future
supposed to
wife.
Mike Kripke's
he met her at
basement.
that party in the basement.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was
But it
Mike
didn't happen.
Kripke's basement.
Yeah.
I don't know
Mike
why I
Kripke.
remember that.
So yeah, I'd rather see them do RoboCop versus Terminator.
Yeah.
That would be a lot.
I'm sure that would eventually happen now that they have a RoboCop movie out and Terminator coming out. It's bound to happen.
I didn't like that RoboCop movie.
And they need to go back old school.
You know what? Also, they did a series, Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Hmm.
I
was a great
really
show.
liked that. I liked it, and I wish they would have continued with that because they left you on a freaking cliffhanger. Now they've finally gone into whatever the future, and we're canceling. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Try when it gets
man.
good. Like Firefly, cancel it. Dollhouse.
Farscape.
Terra Nova canceled it.
Yeah.
Farscape.
Yep. It's like sci-fi shows are destined to cancel after a season. It's like, so they should cram everything they can in the first season and just hope. But
Well, they should write things. I think now. I don't know why they don't do this, but write things to where at the end of the season you get closure. Or if you are canceled, everyone's happy and can just say nothing but great things,
mhm.
And but don't leave just like a million questions open. I loved Lost. I hated the final episode because I was just like, are you serious? So this is the answer to all this crap. It seems like you guys are getting canned. And you're like, well, let's throw all these answers into one episode. And it doesn't make sense. And I'm not going to spoil it for people that haven't watched it, even though it's been out for years. But I was just like, man, it was like the most kind of, I guess, logical thing and the most boring thing. It really hurt it because I was wanting something so epic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it was a huge letdown. But the whole journey from Lost was awesome. But write things to where there can be, kind of a beginning and end. Because a lot of the things that they do is they like to leave you on this huge cliffhanger. Like in Lost, they'd be like, all right, end of the season, and then bam, trip, and find out that there's some like underground type thing, like that, the little door, and they look through the window, they're like, there's something here on this island, underneath, this basement and stuff like that, to where you find out the one dude had to keep on pressing that reset button or whatever. So I mean, quit leaving so many cliffhangers and
Yeah. Did they
give
ever
us a beginning
explain?
and then you can also get leave yourself a little bit of room there that you could still continue it on, but give us a beginning and end.
Okay. I mean, to me, did they ever? They didn't quite. Did they ever give like a logical explanation for the freaking polar bear showing up on the island?
For the what now?
The polar bear. A polar bear showed up on the island. You remember that episode? A
Yeah,
polar bear?
I
Yeah.
remember. Oh, I remember the polar bear on there, but I don't remember if they explained what. The
Yeah, I
thing
think it's some
is
things
whenever
they
you watch,
still never quite explain. And at
I
the
mean,
ending of the show, it was kind of like,
I think they
wait.
rushed that. They
Yeah.
knew in like the last like 3 episodes. All right, well, we're getting kind of like way out there because I mean, even finding like one episode, there's another island. It's just like
Yeah.
it's these huge cliffhangers, and you already think like, what are the possibilities?
Ability.
Because there's so much crazy stuff going on, and like secret government stuff. And then I think it's whenever they got off the island, to where it was just kind of like, it's getting a little slow here. Those, I think towards the last season, it was just like all these backstories, getting to know the characters a little bit more. And you're like, you know what? That's not why I watch this show. I watch show for the stuff that was just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like crazy stuff. And now you're getting into like you're like a just every other TV program. So it seemed like the last little bit they just rushed it, and that last episode was just thrown together like, we're gonna start filming this in about 20 minutes, so better write a script. This is the last episode, and that's what happened.
Mhm.
Then after Lost, all the TV shows tried to find that Lost feeling to their
Oh,
show.
they tried
Get
to
the
find
ratings.
Lost.
Yeah.
The reason why there was so many crazy things going on in Lost is it was supposed to be a 5 or 7 episode miniseries or something like that.
Yeah.
But it was by the third episode, they were like, this is the biggest thing in television for like a long time, and it was the biggest thing at that time as well. And they were like,
Oh.
we're not letting this cash cow just die in a 7 episode miniseries. So there were actually writers that were like, scrap. We got the next episode set up, but scrap the last 3 and write this thing for a full season. And so they're just,
Wait, didn't the writers' strike happen sometime during?
yeah, those are writers
2007
around that
happened,
time.
so
Do what?
it happened in 2007 for the writer's strike. So whenever that was, Lost.
Okay.
Yeah, so those a lot of things missing. Like 24 is probably one of my favorite series ever.
Yeah.
I love Jack Bauer, and the way that you see the progression. You see him in the latest season, and you look at him in the first season. He's done with people. He's done with your BS.
Yeah. And that show it always lets you know anybody can die.
Oh yeah, and anyone can turn into anything. Like, I hated the way Tony Almeida went out.
Yeah, man.
Almost like, at first, I hated his character at the very beginning. I was like, hey, what are you doing? I was like, dude, it's none of your damn business, okay? Just like deal with your own stuff. And like, he's like always like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, it's like, hey, you trying to like flirt with him? It's like he's all jealous and stuff with Nina, and then the love thing he had with Michelle. There's a lot of in-working dating going on in 24. And I was like, you know what? If I was supervisor there, I'm like, look, there's like 50 employees and like 40 of you are dating each other. This has got to stop. I've never been a big date someone I work with type thing. I just thought it was always weird, but 24 was awesome. And, I hated the way David Palmer went out. I think that's the greatest president ever.
Yeah, man. I mean, he just pow, like wow, and then
Dude,
just
he did that character so well that like if he wanted to run for president, you'd be like, you know what, this guy is just awesome. It's the Allstate guy. He's got a deep voice. It's just awesome. Um, the worst president was obviously God, what's his name? The scandalous dude.
yeah, the one that actually had something to do with the nuke that went off in L.A. I was like, wow, really? And just the bullshit reasons he gave for why he allowed it to happen. I was like,
Well, he
that was
also was
crazy.
behind the assassination of David Palmer.
Palmer, yeah.
Sorry for people who haven't watched it. And then President Taylor, I thought she was awful too. Because
But I
here
think
Jack Bauer is to where he saves the country from nuclear attacks and terrorist attacks and all this stuff at least 3 times a season, and you're always trying to arrest him. Like, the dude didn't get a pass whatsoever. Like, you're giving like terrorist a pass, and you wouldn't like him after he's like saved everything.
she let him go, but I think she officially said that he was on the wanted list.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
like these
she had to put it
eruptions.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
at the end of what was that, season 8? I know we
yeah.
just had 9 here. That we better get like a part 2 of 9 because it was only 12 episodes. I'm still mad about that. So we better get a part 2, or we better get some season 10 pretty quick because they left that open as well. Like, but they did it an open and a closed where he gets in the helicopter with the Russians. Because all the episodes, all the seasons connect.
Yeah, and I
It's in
think
the
Tony,
helicopter with them, to where either they could go off and they can kill him, or it could be like the China thing. Whenever he got abducted by the Chinese. So
and I think the reason Tony Alameda quote unquote went over was he felt like that was the only way he could get close to the big bad or the shadow or the guy in the shadows that was supposedly funding everything that had happened like in the previous season. Where I'm like, really, one person's behind it?
well, the thing is, whenever they finally got to him, he was only in a few episodes. It was like, well, this is
Yeah.
someone that is like the mastermind behind like 2 complete
Yeah.
seasons, and he's only in like a couple episodes, and then it wasn't very hard to take him down. I was like, oh, that was kind of sucks.
Wow. Yeah. I was like, this is the guy who was behind 2 seasons worth of stuff. Him?
And they also had the writer strike though that maybe go into it
Yeah.
is whenever they did the movie Redemption, which was between season 6 and 7. So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the writer's strike threw off a lot of stuff. As a matter of fact, didn't they mention something about the writer's strike happening or somehow affecting the overall story for Revenge of the Fallen?
I don't know, James. Like, no, I'm sorry. Me and Trent's just like
I
took
have no
this
idea.
thing over.
Sorry. Oh my God, we
I'm
just
doing my own
completely
thing
turned
now,
into a different show. My.
so we're probably
That's
just gonna end it here pretty soon here anyway. So
Mhm.
so everyone's already dipped out. So yeah, we're
Anybody
just
seen
gonna end it
Robust
here.
in the stores yet?
Got a couple of comments here, so let me cover these real quick. BVZXA3 says the 90s X-Men, when it went into syndication, used a Japanese intro as the ending outro.
Okay.
Let's see here. J.J. Abrams by Godbot. J.J. Abrams screwed up Lost up. They had to bring in Brian V. Vaughn. Huh. So they had someone else? Oh, okay. Then you have Alphatron 92 says, what? Lady J got killed? Oh my, thanks for spoiling it for me.
Dude, she's
Reading the
been dead
volumes
for a
over
while.
the next few months. Spoiler alert, please. I mean, it's only been 20 plus years. Some of us haven't read it yet. LOL. Then BVXA3 says, I miss Fringe. At least they got 5 seasons and a possible ending. You know what? I think I'm still in the first season of Fringe. Or maybe halfway through season 2. I haven't watched it in almost a year. I never finished it. That was it as far as comments to read.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll probably end it here because we've been going on for at least an hour and a half. So if you guys want to outro yourselves, we'll start off with you, Lawrence.
Trents5 at Twitter and Trents5 at Facebook.
Josh.
You can find me, G1 Hexatron, on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, or you can like my Facebook page as well, the G1 Hexatron.
And Jay.
Find me on Twitter at NemesisJazz13.
And Dalton.
I'm Dalton. You can find me on YouTube at DaltoniansTF Reviews and on Twitter at DaltoniansTF95.
Twitter 95.
Right on. And I'm James, Victory Saber 77. You can find me Twitter and YouTube. And don't forget to check out our website, cybercastnetwork.com, our YouTube page, Cybercast Network, which we don't have a lot of stuff on there, but still worth checking out. Follow us on Twitter, CybercastNet. Like us on Facebook, Cybercast Network. And we do have a topic show, even though Dakota's not here. It is Tuesday at, was it 7? 7 o'clock, I believe?
think it's 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock Central Standard Time on his channel. So topic is going to be scalping. So should be pretty good. And we will have Barrett Prime Games Chris on there also. So thanks for watching, guys. Really do appreciate it. And we will see you next week.